Hey everyone, how's it going? If you love movies, epic stories, and films that are set to make history, hit that like button and get ready. Because today, we're talking about huge productions, packed with action, adventure, emotion, and massive expectations. These are movies that range from mythological epics to superhero blockbusters, traveling through fantasy worlds, historic battles, and characters everyone loves. Here, you'll find cool facts, key information, and what you can really expect from these upcoming releases that everyone's already talking about. So, let's jump right into it. The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's next epic. In 2026, one of the greatest stories ever told is coming back to the big screen. The Odyssey is the next film from Christopher Nolan, an epic blend of action, adventure, fantasy, and history, directly inspired by Homer's immortal poem, The Odyssey. The movie is set to premiere on July 17, 2026, with a worldwide release including the United States, in a massive production by Universal Pictures, involving both the UK and the US. But this isn't just another historical movie. Nolan is promising a fully immersive cinematic experience, shot in IMAX, using film and cutting-edge new cameras, pulling audiences into a visual journey like never before. The story, after the end of the Trojan War, the legendary hero Odysseus, also known as Ulysses, sets out on what should have been a short journey home, but it turns into a 10-year odyssey. On his way back to his homeland, Ithaca, he faces mythical monsters, unpredictable gods, and supernatural trials that test not only his strength, but his intelligence, faith, and humanity. All of this while trying to reunite with his wife Penelope, reclaim his kingdom, and prove that he is still worthy of being called a king. An all-star cast. According to industry reports, the film brings together some of Hollywood's biggest names. Matt Damon takes on the role of Odysseus, a hero shaped by war and driven by cunning. Anne Hathaway plays Penelope, a powerful symbol of loyalty and resilience. Tom Holland portrays Telemachus, the son who grows up waiting for his father's return. Zendaya steps into the role of Athena, the goddess who protects Odysseus. Charlize Theron appears as Circe, the mysterious and powerful sorceress. The cast also includes Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Jon Bernthal, and other actors whose roles are still being kept secret, adding even more mystery to the project. Behind-the-scenes filming is taking place in real locations across Greece and other regions, featuring massive sets, epic landscapes, and a production described as one of the most ambitious of Nolan's entire career. The goal is to blend classic Greek mythology with modern cinematic language, relying on practical effects, epic scale, and an intense narrative, all trademarks of Nolan's style. The Odyssey doesn't just aim to tell a story, it aims to make audiences live a legendary journey. Spider-Man. Brand new day, a new beginning for the hero. In 2026, Spider-Man returns to theaters in a brand new phase of his journey. Spider-Man. Brand New Day is the next chapter in Peter Parker's story, now set in a world that's completely different from the one he once knew. The film is expected to premiere in July 2026, with release dates varying between July 30th or 31st in some countries. It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe through the ongoing partnership between Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures. The direction. The movie is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, best known for Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. His involvement suggests a more grounded, emotional, and character-driven approach, focusing on the human side of Marvel's most popular hero. What to expect from the story. After the devastating events of Spider-Man: No Way Home, Peter Parker has to move on, alone. With no one remembering who he is, Peter tries to rebuild his life from scratch, balancing college, work, and the heavy responsibility of being Spider-Man. According to online rumors, the film will introduce a new mysterious threat, while Peter faces the consequences of his past choices, and once again, redefines what it truly means to be a hero. It's important to note, these details are not officially confirmed, but they point toward a more grounded, emotional, and mature tone for the character. The cast, so far, the reported cast includes Tom Holland, returning as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, now more experienced and shaped by loss. Zendaya expected to return as MJ Jacob Batalon, likely reprising his role as Ned Leeds. Sadie Sink, confirmed in the cast in a role that's still being kept secret. Liza Colon-Zayas, also joining the production. The full cast has not yet been officially confirmed, keeping the project surrounded by mystery. A new chapter in the franchise, Brand New Day, is considered the fourth solo Spider-Man film starring Tom Holland, following the journey that began with Homecoming 2017, Far From Home 2019, No Way Home 2021. More than just a sequel, this film promises a true reset for the character, a more vulnerable, more human Peter Parker, closer than ever to the classic Spider-Man from the comics. Spider-Man, Brand New Day isn't just about saving the city. It's about discovering who you are when everything that defined you is gone. Mortal Kombat 2. The final tournament returns in 2026. The most brutal battle in video game history returns to the big screen. Mortal Kombat 2 promises to push stylized violence, dark fantasy, and martial arts action to an entirely new level. The film is once again directed by Simon McQuoid, returning after Mortal Kombat 2021 with a script written by Jeremy Slater. Distribution is handled by Warner Brothers Pictures in partnership with New Line Cinema. The movie is set to premiere in May 2026, between May 8th and 15th, depending on the country. Originally planned for 2025, the release was strategically delayed to land in the powerful summer movie season. The tournament returns. This time, there is no more preparation. The Mortal Kombat tournament finally begins. The fate of Earthrealm hangs in the balance as the warriors of Outworld, led by the ruthless Shao Kahn, face off directly against Earth's champion. No rules, no mercy, only survival. To stand a chance, the heroes must unite, including one of the most charismatic and unpredictable fighters of all, Johnny Cage. An all-star cast. The film brings back familiar faces. Louis Tan returns as Cole Young. Ludi Lin once again plays Liu Kang. Mehshad Brooks is back as Jax Briggs. Jessica McNamee returns as Sonya Blade. Tadanobu Asano reprises his role as Raiden. Joe Taslim returns as Sub-Zero, while Hiroyuki Sanada once again embodies the legendary Scorpion. Among the biggest new additions, Karl Urban steps into the role of Johnny Cage, the Hollywood star thrown into the deadliest tournament ever. Adeline Rudolph plays Kitana. Tati Gabrielle portrays Jade. Martin Ford appears as the fearsome Shao Kahn, the film's main antagonist. The cast also includes Baraka, played by C.J. Bloomfield, along with several other classic characters. Bigger scale, deadlier fights. Mortal Kombat 2 promises more intense fights, greater faithfulness to the games, and a much larger action scale than the first film. Filming took place in Australia, and despite interruptions during the 2023 industry strikes, production is now complete, and the movie is in its final stages of post-production. Fun facts. The first trailer and promotional materials racked up millions of views, proving the strength of the franchise. Studio confidence is so high that Mortal Kombat 3 is already in development, even before the release of the second film. Mortal Kombat 2 is not just a sequel, it's the beginning of the ultimate war between worlds. Let the tournament begin. Avengers: Doomsday, the MCU's greatest threat, in December 2026. The Marvel Cinematic Universe enters its most ambitious phase yet. Avengers: Doomsday, also known internationally as Avengers. Doctor Doom is set to become the defining event of MCU Phase 6. Scheduled to hit theaters on December 18, 2026, in both the United States and Brazil, the film is directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, the duo behind Avengers, Infinity War and Avengers, Endgame, with a script written by Stephen McFeely. The return of epic scale. After years of expanding the multiverse, Marvel is building a story that brings together multiple generations of heroes in a single massive battle. This time, the enemy isn't just powerful, he's inevitable. The story, so far, set after the events of Thunderbolts 2025. The film shows the MCU facing its greatest threat yet, Doctor Doom. By combining advanced science with ancient magic, Victor Von Doom unleashes a multiversal crisis capable of destroying or reshaping entire realities. To stop the collapse of the multiverse, one team won't be enough. Multiple forces must unite. The Avengers, the Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, the original X-Men, all standing against a single enemy. Who is Dr. Doom? Victor Von Doom is one of the most iconic villains in Marvel Comics. The absolute ruler of the nation of Latveria, he is a genius in both cutting-edge science and arcane magic. His armor grants him superhuman strength, advanced technology, mystical abilities, and command over vast military resources, making him one of the most dangerous adversaries the heroes have ever faced. And for the first time in the MCU, Dr. Doom will be portrayed by Robert Downey Jr., returning to the Marvel Universe in a completely new role after defining an era as Tony Stark/Iron Man. A massive cast, the film assembles a true army of stars. Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers/Captain America, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Sam Wilson, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. The Fantastic Four also make their long-awaited MCU appearance. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. In addition, returns from Sebastian Stan, Letitia Wright, Florence Pugh, and many others have been mentioned in official announcements and cast updates. A special highlight goes to Channing Tatum, who appears as Gambit, taking part in action sequences directly tied to Dr. Doom. A turning point for the MCU Avengers. Doomsday is officially Avengers 5 and serves as the main bridge to Avengers: Secret Wars, scheduled for December 2027. The film promises to recapture the epic scale that defined Marvel's biggest moments, bringing together classic characters, new teams, and the fate of the multiverse itself. Fun facts even before its release. Teasers and promotional materials have already surpassed 1 billion views, highlighting the massive anticipation surrounding the film. Avengers. Doomsday isn't just another movie. It's the day when everything could end or begin again. Moana, the journey that answered the ocean, released in 2016. Moana, known as Vaiana in some European countries, is one of Disney's most memorable animated films of the last decade. Produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Pictures, the movie blends adventure, musical, and fantasy into a story made for the whole family, with a runtime of approximately 1 hour and 47 minutes. A story of courage, Moana is the daughter of a tribal chief in ancient Polynesia, raised to one day lead her people, but called to something far greater. When a mysterious blight begins to threaten her island, the ocean itself chooses Moana to restore the heart of the goddess Te Fiti and save her home. Fearless in the face of the unknown, she sets out across the vast sea alongside the charismatic and not so humble demigod Maui. Together, they face monsters, supernatural challenges, and unimaginable dangers as Moana discovers her own strength, identity, and destiny. Original voice cast Moana is brought to life by Auli'i Cravalho, while Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, lends his unmistakable charisma to Maui. The voice cast also includes Rachel House as Grandma Tala, Temuera Morrison as Chief Tui, Nicole Scherzinger as Sina, Jermaine Clement as the eccentric Tamatoa, and Alan Tudyk as the unforgettable Heihei. Music and global success. The soundtrack, featuring songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda, took the world by storm. How Far I'll Go became an anthem of self-discovery and earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song. The success was undeniable. Moana achieved around 95% approval from critics and grossed over $680 million worldwide at the box office. The sequel in 2024, the story continued with Moana 2, which arrived on Disney Plus in 2025, bringing a brand new ocean adventure for Moana and Maui, and once again winning over audiences around the world. Moana Live Action 2026. Now, Disney is ready to retell the story in a whole new way. The live-action adaptation of Moana is set to premiere on July 10, 2026, directed by Thomas Kail and produced by Walt Disney Pictures. Starring Catherine Lagaaya as Moana, with Dwayne Johnson returning as Maui, this time in live action. John Tui, Frankie Adams, and Rena Owen round out the main cast. The goal is to reimagine the beloved adventure with real actors, iconic songs, and stunning visual effects, following the style of Disney's recent live-action adaptations. Representation and culture. Inspired by the culture and mythology of Pacific Island, peoples such as Samoa, Tonga, and Fiji, Moana became a landmark for cultural representation in animated cinema. More than just an adventure, the story speaks about belonging, listening to your inner voice, and answering the call of your heart. Moana isn't just an animated movie. It's a journey about who we are and how far we're willing to go.